not an idea that was conceived from the Cameroon government. So they should shun from blaming the government and instead look at it from the angle of Trump. Look at it from the Trump's way. Trump is just being too kind with his putting American first and any other thing last. That is why he has to send back people to their respective countries.
America is a country, even in the regime of Trump, they have been having this attitude of bringing Africans into America. But why this time, this massive repatriation of Africans, especially Cameroonians?
You see, Trump is a kind of president which I would call him a nationalist. And nationalists have a way they look into issue. And the first thing with nationalists is that your country becomes your top priority. And Trump has made this both in his country and in international scene that America first. And the migration is on his top agenda list. That if you have to come to America, you should come in legally. I may ask this question that may sound foolish. If you are seeking asylum, asylum seekers are people who their environment are not comfortable for them, who think that they are under a kind of one danger, pressure or the others, and want a solace where they can have a cool head. How did these people manage to leave Cameroon? They did not end in Nigeria. They did not end in Chad. They did not end in Guinea Equatorial. They found themselves right in USA. And you say you are seeking asylum. It opens doors for many questioning. Because if I'm seeking asylum now, Mr. Mwambo, you see me in Nigeria. If I'm not entering Nigeria, I should go to Equatorial Guinea because they are the nearest part that I can use, even a bush part, to get myself into when I want to say that the atmosphere in Cameroon is too hot for me that I cannot stay in Cameroon. You see where America is. You have to cross international boundaries, paying a flight and the other. So I don't really think they were asylum seekers. And even if they were, looking at the names that we have to see some government teachers who abandoned teaching here in Cameroon, military men, the first thing the government should do, they should lock them up because these are people who have tarnished the image of Cameroon. You could not be somebody seeking to work and you occupy a space that other honest Cameroonians of goodwill and Cameroonians of Republican values who should have been there to impact the generation that is in Cameroon with knowledge. You occupy that space, you live over, and you are earning money because they are going with the lazy nature we have in Cameroon. Their salary keep passing. I want to say that, and some of them even took gum loans that they left Cameroon with. So in an aspect, they have defrauded the state. So again, I want to say, it is a rumor that Cameroon government with America may have formed a coup, which I cannot attest to that because I don't see it from that dimension. Some people even claim in their asylum document, interviews have been going, you are a journalist, you can bet that some who claim that the Anglophones cannot even speak English. I want to that because every person, whether you grew up from the French-speaking region of this country,
some who went there even before the Anglophone problem.
I don't know because
if you watch even on social media or some of them who were caught, the way they speak show that they have stayed there for so long because their English wasn't like an African English.
If
I talk of African, the way I speak, but if you bring an American,
Mr. Mwambo, Asen is something you can buy me for a day. There are people who just travel. There are people just travel to Cotonou and they come back here and now they speak like they have been in America. So what we are looking
at. How
here,
come somebody who have children, the first child is about 17 and above, then you tell me that the person ran because of Anglo? The child was born there. They were dead. They had a child there.
Mr. Mwambo, yes. I would not dip myself into something which I don't know. Okay. What you are bringing are facts that are not within. There are things that are not within my reach at the moment. So what I want to say, I want to talk strictly on what I know asylum to be. Yes. Asylum is an application that can be granted or cannot be granted. So if you make an application and your application is being thrown out, why do you begin to accuse the state that refused to harbor you and begin to accuse your own country, which you claim to be running away from it and which you were earning money from that country before you even left? People who even are affected by this Anglophone crisis, they are refugees in Nigeria. If they are somewhere, they are IDPs within the country.
Okay, so this one just says, good evening, everybody. It has been always like that with Cameroon. They say, is Ndefi from Tiko. Okay, is Ndefi from Tiko. It says that always been like that with Cameroon. Okay, let me come to you, Dr. Busi. I just want us to take a few minutes on this. We'll take the next topic so that Now, what's your take about this asylum? Is it not like giving the poor nature or the way African leaders have made Africa to be, and so people run away from Africa?
Mr. Moderator, we know Africa is a daunting environment. Africa is underdeveloped, and when we all decide to travel abroad, who are those who, the manpower who develop Africa? So the truth is that when you look at the trans-Saharan and transatlantic slave trade, many Africans went abroad and developed America the way it is. So I don't know why most of us can't make our own Europe here in Africa. And the truth is that when you look at those who even travel abroad through difficult means, and some even die on their way to Mexico and other places, some of them have matrical numbers with government. When people are here home suffering to have matrical with government, Mr. Moderator, and I feel that such persons who have matrical with the government and they travel abroad, they should be questioned, because other persons are collecting their salaries and they are not working. And on daily basis, we are having international brain drain and people are abroad and the gaps here are not filled.
Don't you think the administrators on ground should be punished? Because, you know, this is rampant with teachers.
Most of them have traveled
and which the principals
most
are
of them have traveled to unlawful means, Mr. Moderator. And there are some teachers who have even traveled abroad through connections, those who have connections, and those who have come with an agreement. They have an agreement with their principals. So I think that government needs to trace the root cause of this. And most of these people who travel abroad and want to get refugee status, and their refugee status even signifies that they are workers in Cameroon. Most of them are workers in Cameroon. You can't tell me that you are a government teacher in Cameroon with a salary of about 250,000 on monthly basis, and you go out there to say that there's war in Cameroon, there's this in Cameroon, and your salary is passing.
But don't you think
you are
that
even in America, you are not even, most of them, they are not even working. They are inside the code, but they have jobs here in Cameroon to be working, official jobs that has been given by the government, but they are out there in co, Mr. Moderator. Some don't even have jobs.
Don't you think that the checks, you know, the government really has a problem? Because if somebody should come and present a certificate, maybe from a university abroad,
yes,
that shows that the person has been studying there for 5 years, not even online,
yes,
then it shows that the person has been a civil servant, is receiving, such a person should be arrested, or they should doubt how come this person studied abroad when you are a civil servant.
That's why we say that the issue of connection. Some of these people, before traveling, there are people back home here that they make an agreement with such persons. Okay. And I think that government should be able to trace such persons. It's not good that people should have a job with their government and they leave the country for refugee status, Mr. Moderator. That's not morally upright. Let's be serious about it.
Let's take the next topic. It shall be the regional elections, which I just discussed a few minutes